My top 13 clues that you might be a racist. Do you think All Lives Matter is an appropriate response to Black Lives Matter? Sorry to say, that's a bit racist. Same way that saying straight pride in response to pride is homophobic and transphobic, National Men's Day in response to National Women's Day is misogynistic, and funnily enough exactly the same as saying White History Month in response to Black History Month. The important thing about these real events, like Black Lives Matter protests, National Women's Day, Black History Month and Pride, is that they are either raising awareness or celebrating a community or group of people that is being oppressed right now. And whining about not being the centre of attention for up to a month, maybe as little as a few hours, and then creating your own fake event in direct opposition to these events that are raising awareness or celebrating these people is racist, or transphobic, or homophobic, or misogynistic, or all of the bad words. So, racist. Do you think that the Colston statue being taken down is a bad thing? Doesn't matter if you're hiding behind the thinly veiled excuse that it's vandalism. To give you another analogy, it's the same as the Confederate flag in America. The argument being made by racists is that these things are a part of our history. And as you know, as soon as you take a statue down, everybody... No, I'm not going to do that joke because it's too easy. Statues and flags aren't specifically for history. We have other things like that, like museums and books. What statues and flags are is a celebration of history. And if you are celebrating a racist part of history, then that's racist. And I don't give a flying fuck what Colston did with his money that would have been good for Bristol, because he made that money off the backs of slaves. Slaves that he would throw into the ocean when they got ill so they didn't infect the rest of his stock. As a white person, it doesn't matter what these monuments mean to you because they don't negatively affect you. We should be paying attention to the people in our community who they do negatively affect. We will still remember who this cunt is without having a hall, a school, and a statue dedicated to him. I don't particularly want to remember it, but that's, again, probably white privilege coming through, blocking out the racist parts of history. We need to remember him because he's a racist. We need to not celebrate him because he's a racist. So, racist. Do you think Churchill wasn't a racist? He was. He was well documented as a racist. He did lead the country in an important time where he could channel his xenophobia towards one unanimously evil entity, but before and after, very well documented racist. We don't need a statue to him. Also, the BLM protests weren't actually planning on doing anything to the statue of Churchill. That was white people telling people that they were going to do that so that they could get offended and upset by it. But yeah, they weren't going after that statue, so racist. We're going to protect the statue of Churchill. Okay, well, we're not going to do anything to it. Yeah, you're not. Because we'll be protecting it. No, because we'll be over there doing a peaceful protest about things that matter. Yeah, well, we'll be protecting the statue. Cool. You do that. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. 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 Bye-bye then. Racist. Do you think Trump is a good guy? If you support someone who is openly racist, that makes you a racist. Sorry. Except I'm not, because you're a racist. Are you outraged at the Black Lives Matter protests for not obeying the rules of quarantine, but were suspiciously silent when people went to the beaches every week and then stood out in groups for VE Day? And were you even more suspiciously quiet when the openly racist racists went to defend a racist statue from themselves and then demeaned the only commendable thing that the racist statue person did by doing the salute of the people that he was famous for defeating? Racist. Piggybacking off the last question, were you outraged at the BLM protesters for occasionally retaliating when they were attacked? Also, were you deliberately ignorant of the people that were causing the aggression being either police or white people? And did you again remain silent when the army of gammon-headed racists mentioned above, who were protecting a statue from presumably pigeons, openly and unprovoked attacked the police who were there to protect the statue from the racist people who were protecting the racist statue from pigeons? Racist. Do you think the film White Girls is as offensive as historical blackface because you had one instance where you were discriminated against because you had white skin. Sad news, but being discriminated against for being white is so rare that it's unrealistic to provide a statistic for it. And unfortunately, it's a reasonable response, because white people are considered a threat to people of colour, because historically we are a threat to them, whereas people of colour in the Western world have never been in a strong enough position to be a significant threat to white people. They have always been a response or a resistance. So, racist. Quickfire round. Did you call the Black Lives Matter protesters rioters, thugs and looters, and then proceed to call the Gammon Brigade counter-protesters? That's racist. If you are openly supporting a political party or a movement that has racism as a part of its ideology, you are supporting racism, which makes you a racist. So if you support the BNP, you are racist. EDL, you are a racist. UKIP, you are a racist. Britain First, you are a racist. I can't think of any others, but you get the idea. And finally, do you think that this piece of shit, this tubby toast dipped in tubby custard looking motherfucker, this vehemently vile waste of oxygen, is anything other than one of the most deplorable cunts to ever be given a platform, anything other than the epitome of racist nationalism, anything other than, ironically, the exception to the chant "All Lives Matter," then you are undoubtedly, unequivocally racist. This video will get backlash. If this video upset you, it's probably because you're a racist. And you should be upset because you're a racist. And racism is bad. You can talk about your right to an opinion till the cows come home, but unfortunately that doesn't account for people's rights to live. Keep your opinions to Marmite or Star Wars pre or sequels. When it comes to oppression, there is no opinion. You are either in the right or in the wrong. And if you're racist, you will always be in the wrong. I hope Tommy Robinson dies soon. Goodbye.